Hello and welcome to our mini show of tips. I'm Esther Stanhope, the Impact Guru, and this is my special guest, Olivia James, who's a Harley Street coach. Hello, Olivia, how are you?
Hi, Esther. I am groovy.
Welcome to the show. Now, we're doing a mini show because we are talking about anxiety when it comes to remote meetings and Zoom. And you are an anxiety expert and coach and therapist, aren't you, Olivia?
I am indeed.
And Zoom is freaking us out at the moment, and remote meetings and working from home. And we're recording this in the middle of the lockdown. I'm in London lockdown. Olivia, where are you?
I am in London lockdown.
Okay, so we're going to do 3 quick episodes of this mini show. This first episode is about trolls and about the fact that when you're doing remote meetings and working online a lot, there seems to be a lot more criticism. People feel that they can just write stuff down. So recently I had this exact experience of doing a live virtual event. There were probably about 700 people on the call, but a couple of people were writing quite rude remarks like, "What's she talking about? That's not right." And it really, really spooked me and made me feel really anxious. And I started just completely doubting everything that I was talking about. So Olivia, from your therapeutic point of view and from your psychological point of view, first of all, why are there more trolls now when we're online?
Well, the thing is, there's a lot of people with a lot of time on their hands and they got nothing better to do. They've got nothing going on in their lives. They're clearly not doing cool stuff like you are. They're clearly not addressing big audiences of 700 people. So they're thinking, "Oh, Esther, she seems to have a lot of energy. She's going places. I wish I was going places." So a lot of it is like internalized frustration that's coming out onto people who are actually doing cool stuff.
Oh,
That's
right. So is it jealousy then?
Of course it is.
Oh no, that's terrible. And so, but what is it about? So if I was doing a live event with a few hundred people in an auditorium, you might get the odd kind of, but it's very rare that somebody would actively, criticize you to your face.
Yes.
Why can people criticize you when it's not to your face, but they're actually there? They know you can read their comments because they're not actually in front of you. They feel they can be really rude. Why do you think that is?
I think they feel more protected. I think they feel more protected. And so I know a lot of very successful people who get a lot of trolls. And one of the things is like, do you like engage with them? The tendency is to want to hit back. But it's best obviously just like block them and move on. Someone I know who gets a lot of trolling says, "They only hate you because they ain't you."
Because they ain't you. They hate you because they ain't you. So
Yeah.
I love talking to you about our fears and our brains and the way that our brains affect our nervous system and why we often feel sick when we've got a bit of anxiety and those sorts of themes. So just from your point of view, why is it that it makes us feel a bit sick why do these trolls affect us so much? Like when I get 95%, brilliant, great, thanks for the tips. And then, maybe 3% of people are like, rubbish, you don't know what you're talking about, unstructured, unprofessional, annoying. It's, already my blood's beginning to kind of
Yes.
boil a little bit, and I'm feeling anxious and worried and paranoid, and I'm beginning to doubt myself. Why is that? Why does my brain immediately latch onto the negative stuff?
Yeah. Well, humans have evolved to look out for danger, and sort of the human brain is like Velcro for negative, dangerous stuff, and like Teflon for compliments. So you will remember exactly the words that this person used. They stick with you, and part of it because of our own inner critic. A lot of us have our own. The things we say to ourselves are usually a lot worse than what other people can say. So some of that is because everybody has those fears of maybe I'm not good enough, or who wants to listen to me, like all these. Some of these are like past traumas that people have said mean things to us.
Yeah.
And so when somebody says that, anything that's remotely similar, part of us will go, see, they're right. So it sort of hits us into that deep, insecure part of us. And that's, I think, a lot what's going on there.
Yeah, I can remember probably, I'm not joking, 6 years ago, I did a masterclass, and it was one of my very first. And I did actually suffer from glossophobia, the fear of public speaking, which is why I wrote my book about it, which we'll talk about in a second. But somebody said, one of the senior people said, most people said it was brilliant, loved it, well done. But one senior person said, I felt it was a bit light on content. And that was 6 years ago. And look at me, look.
Ouch.
Light on content? Light on content? What does she mean, light on content? Light on
Exactly.
Why am I so frightened of being light on content, or too fluffy, or too bubbly and not serious enough? You know, why am I so paranoid about that?
Exactly. I think especially if it's a senior person that says something to you. As the way we've evolved, obviously, and the way we're brought up, our parents and caregivers, they have to criticize us to stop us leaving the house with snot all over our face and stuff. So, it's that's really the part of that criticism. Or like when your kids go out, you make sure their things are, you know, their shirts are done up properly and they haven't got it buttoned up wrong. So that's part of your function as a parent, is to, but it can sort of flip into too much criticism, and then humans start to internalize that. So especially if a teacher has said something to you, so that thing about you being light on content and you being, you know, perhaps not serious enough, it's like, ouch, like,
really hurts.
Exactly. And partly because, you know, you are sort of really fun and outgoing, but you seriously have the content there. But some people could look at you and think, oh, she's just
fluffy, bubbly.
What did you say? You know, like somebody said that something to you once about, you know, like, what did they say? I remember because we've had
a fizzy bubble waiting to burst or something like.
Exactly, like, and so basically it makes you think that there's no substance.
Yeah, too light, too fluffy, too showbiz, because on my background's TV and radio at the BBC.
So
you know what I've done recently? Then I've taken your advice and I've just taken a step back and said, look, you've got to see it for what it is. I absolutely know from reading books and talking to you that negative comments are 6 times more powerful, and your inner chimp starts jumping up and down at negative comments. And so you really do have to put it into context. So the other thing that a really good tip is just to know you're more likely to get trolls online than you are live. You're just more likely. There's many, many more examples of people saying really nasty things to people online. We've seen it on Twitter, on Facebook. We know that teenagers are suffering from all kinds of bullying online. And the other thing is that you've got to just be true to yourself and don't let somebody throw you off your own path. And a really good quote from a friend of ours, a fellow speaker that we both know called Will Kintish. I always remember him saying to me, you can't please everybody all of the time. There's always going to be a hater. There's always going to be somebody who's jealous of you or you irritate them. There's always going to be that. So don't worry about it, because you're in danger of letting it affect you. So it'll affect your entire performance for the 95% that really love you. So it's your job to make sure that you steer your ship in the right way.
Yes,
so just talking about Olivia here. Olivia, you are in chapter 20 in my book, Goodbye Glossophobia, which is the fear of public speaking. Olivia is in chapter 20, What If I Shake? And she talks about anxiety. Olivia, thank you so much for joining me today. We've got another couple of mini shows with tips on how to cope with Zoom coming up. If you want to ask Olivia any questions, my email is going to be on this film. It's esther@estherstanhope.com. We can answer your questions. I can pass them on to Olivia. But please don't let the trolls get you down.